Here we are, Rico Soul Italia Eats, and today we're going to show you guys how to make this beautiful tres leche cake. That's 3 milks Mexican cake. And so this was really fun to make. It's always fun making. We hope you guys enjoy the video. Please follow the instructions to the T. I'm giving you guys the full recipe. And if you make this tres leche, you follow the instructions, this will be one of the best tres leches that you've ever had. This is supposed to be a spongy Mexican cake, and when you get to the bottom of it, it's supposed to have a puddle of goodness. And so this is the way it should look. So without further ado, let's get into this video.
We're going to need some all-purpose flour, some AP, all-purpose flour. We already have my digital scale, and what we're going to do is we're going to weigh out 225 grams of all-purpose flour. I'll set that to the side. Now we're going to weigh out 10 grams of baking powder. Here's our 10 grams of baking powder. Alright, so the baking powder and the flour is in. Next, we're going to add 4 grams of salt. There's our 4 grams of sea salt. And we're just going to add that in with our flour and baking powder. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to mix it all in. We're going to need 6 eggs.
All we're doing here is separating the egg whites from the egg yolks, and we'll put them in separate bowls.
Alright, we're going to add the final yolk to the bowl there. Okay, here's our 6 egg whites and our 6 yolks. And next we're going to add 188 grams of sugar. It's 188 grams of sugar. And there we have our 188 grams of sugar. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add that sugar to the egg yolks. We're going to add this sugar, the 188 grams, to our 6 egg yolks. And then we're going to blend it up until it gets somewhat thick. All right, now we're going to mix this up until it gets thick. Make sure that we got the sides, sugar from the sides and everything. Alright, that looks like the consistency that I'm looking for. Alright, we're just going to push that to the side for now. And now we're going to add 76 grams of 2% milk. That's going to be 76 grams of 2% milk. Going to 0 our scale out. Here's our milk. And we're gonna add 76 grams worth. Here's our 76 grams. It's just a little bit more than, just about 1/4 of a cup. And we're gonna add that here to the mixture. We're also gonna add 1 1/4 teaspoons of the vanilla extract. All right, now we're gonna blend that in. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this mixture into the flour mixture. We're just going to fold it in. Just going to add it all in. I'm just going to fold it in. Folding. We're going to keep folding until it's incorporated pretty well. We're getting there, we're making progress. Still some flour at the bottom of the pan there. That's pretty good. Looks like we got a lot of flour at the bottom. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's zero our scale out. We're going to need 63 grams of sugar. Perfect, 63 grams of sugar. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this sugar into our egg whites. We're going to beat this, we're going to blend this in gradually into our egg whites. And we're going to mix it until the peaks don't bend over, okay, until the peaks become firm. So let's start mixing. Okay, I think this is pretty firm. It looks that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the meringue-like mixture to the other mixture that we mixed up earlier with the egg yolks. And then we're just going to try to fold it all in. What we're going to do is we're just going to try to fold it in. Just going to try to fold it all in. What we don't want to do is we don't want to over mix it here. We just want to mix until it's all incorporated. Looks like we're just about there. Gotta make sure we get the bottom pretty good. Make sure we get the bottom incorporated. Alright, that's gonna be just about good. Okay, that's gonna be just about good. Now what we're going to do next is butter our baking dish. This is a big dish. We're gonna need some butter, and that's to coat this large pan. This is an extra large pan. Buttered pretty well, as you can see, all over, sides, bottom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pour our mixture into this bowl. Alright. So we're just going to pour this mixture right into the casserole dish here. Smooth it out. We're just going to attempt to smooth it out evenly. Okay, it looks like it's pretty even for the most part. How's that look? Should be about even all over, just about. Okay, we're going to put this in the oven on 350, and we're going to bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. That's 25 to 30 minutes on 350 Fahrenheit. Okay, it's been 26 minutes. And we're going to stick this skewer in, and we're going to see if this is done. If it comes out clean, it's done. If there's a little bit sticky, then we'll put it back in. Comes out pretty clean. So it's been about 25, 26 minutes, and it's done. So we're going to let this cool for about an hour. I would say anywhere from 45 minutes to 1 hour and 20 minutes. It all depends on how cool your environment is. If you have your air conditioning blasting, it might cool off a little faster, but we're going to let it cool for at least a good hour, I would say. I like to let it really cool all the way through, so for me, usually I let it cool for about an hour and 20 minutes to make sure that it's completely cool. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to let it cool for anywhere from, or you can let it cool anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, before we let it cool, we're going to poke it. We're going to poke it with little holes. We're going to try to vent it so the little hot air can come out. We're just going to poke little holes in it. And another reason why we're doing this is because when we add the milk, it'll be easier for the milk to seep in through the cake. We're going to do this until we do the whole cake. Looks like we got it pretty good. All right, we'll come back in about an hour. Alrighty, see you then. Okay, it's been just a little bit over an hour, and this has cooled considerably. So now we're going to push this to the side, and we're going to start to get our milk together for the tres leche. We're going to use a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, 12-ounce can. So here's our bowl. So here we are. adding our evaporated milk, 12 ounces. We're going to use a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. And here's our 14 ounces of sweet condensed milk. This is very thick, so you're going to have to scrape the rest of it out with the spoon. It's very, very thick. Don't leave any in there. Get it all. I think we got most of it out. We're going to use 2 1/4 cup of half and half. That's 2 1/4 cup of half and half. Now we're going to add another 1/4 cup. It's a 1/4 cup. All right, we're going to push this to the side. Now we're going to get our scale. And we're also going to use 183 grams, or about 3/4 cup of 2% milk. And now we're going to pour 183 grams of 2% milk. You can use whole milk if you like. $183 grams, 2% milk. Again, you can use whole milk if you like. We're just going to pour that in. All right, now we're done adding the milks. Now we're going to mix it all up. Now we're just going to incorporate. And as I'm stirring, I can feel that condensed milk, which is very, very thick, at the bottom of this bowl. But we're going to mix it until it gets mixed in pretty well. Starting to thin out already. And we're just mixing to incorporate. Feels like it's mixed in pretty well now. I don't feel the thickness of the condensed milk anymore. And now we're going to mix this little mix in. I'm going to use this measuring cup to pour. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour it all in, all throughout the cake, until it absorbs it all. It helps that we put the holes in the cake. Makes it easier for the milk to be absorbed. That's just about it. So as you see, it's 5:50 in the morning. It's 5:50 in the morning, or 5:51. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put some aluminum foil on top of this, and I'm gonna let it sit in the refrigerator. I'm going to put some aluminum foil to cover this in the refrigerator, and I'll let it sit in the fridge for about 12 hours or so. And I'm doing this because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to be eating TRES leche anytime this morning. So, what I'll do is somewhere maybe around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. or so, I'll make the icing for the top, cut up the strawberries, and add the blueberries. Okay, here we are, we're back. Rico Soul Italia Eats. And the last time you guys seen me was about 24 hours ago. That's when I finished pouring the milk into the TRES Leches cake. And here we are, just about a day later. That was about 5 something a.m. the day before, and now it's about 3:37 in the a.m. on a different day. As you see here in my tablet, it is now Wednesday, September 6th, and it's about 3:37 a.m. We're gonna need 2 1/4 cups of this heavy whipping cream. We have our measuring cup. And so what we're gonna do is slide that out of the way. And we're gonna pour 2 1/4 cups of heavy whipping cream into this measuring cup. Okay, as you can see, that's 2 cups. We're going to pour it in our bowl here. And we're going to add another 1/4 cup. We're going to add another 1/4 cup. Okay, we're going to add another 1/4 cup. So we're done with the heavy cream. We're just going to pour the remainder of the heavy cream that we just poured, the 1/4 cup. Okay, that's that. We're going to need some confectionery sugar. We're going to add 4 tablespoons to the mixture. This is going to be our 4th and last tablespoon. We're finished with that. We're also going to need some vanilla extract. We're going to use the same tablespoon, and we're going to pour in 1 tablespoon of the vanilla extract. So we're done with the vanilla extract. Now we're going to mix it all together. Okay, here's our mixer. We're going to blend this until it becomes nice and thick. Okay, I think we have it at the consistency that we want it. Yep, it's nice and thick, so this is fine. We're going to use it as it is. Here's our TRES Leche. Here's our TRES Leche after about 23 hours or so. We're going to try to do our best to spread it out evenly. Okay, how's that look, folks? Keep in mind, folks, this is a very large casserole bowl. It's about 15.5 inches by 10.5 or almost 11 inches wide. So it's a big tres leche here. It's huge. And so now we're going to add strawberries and blueberries to the tres leche. We're just going to push this to the side. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut off the top of the strawberry. Then I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut it in half again. All right. I'll cut the top off. I'm going to cut it in half. And then we'll cut it in half again. Just going to start placing the strawberries on. Okay. So now we're going to put the blueberries on. Jersey Fresh, right? So I'm just going to place blueberries around the strawberries. Okay folks, here's our tres leche. Looking beautiful. We'll be having dinner somewhere around 7:30 or so this will be our dessert. Again, like I said, we're making this for some friends of ours. It's their anniversary. So this is like an anniversary cake for them. Bon appetit, peoples. Bon appetit. So Italia eats, and what do we have here? We have a freshly made tres leche 3 melts Mexican style cake. Okay, we forgot to do one thing, and that's add some cinnamon. We're going to add a hint of cinnamon to this tres leche, something that we forgot to do. So I'm doing this for my YouTube foodie fam. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I could have just closed up shop, okay? So I thought about my YouTube foodie fam. Okay, that's it. That's our tres leche with a hint of cinnamon. Bon appetit, peoples. Bon appetit. Tres Leches doesn't get any better than this, peoples. Did you hear that in the background? Somebody said, Say that again for the one time, You heard it, peoples. Tres Leches, made at home. And what do we have here? We have the Tres Leches that's been dug into.
And watch this. Look, it's all gone.
Okay, and look. He got a magic
yes.
trick.
Wait a minute.
It's all gone.
Yes.